Have you gotten to a place in your business where you feel like regardless of how much money you make or how many clients you have, you still feel stuck in the same financial position? Well, look, you're not the only one. But it's not about the money that you're earning. It's about the relationship that you have with the money that you're earning, the value that you hold to it that keeps you in this cycle of taking 2 steps forward just to take 3 steps back. Now, it's not just about the money itself. The money is just a resource. But now the way we make it, spend it, and manage it, that's just a deeper reflection of within ourselves from our beliefs, our habits, and our experiences, many of which were shaped long before we even knew how to make money. See, now those habits that we learned as kids, they don't just fade away. Whether it's from watching how our parents handle money, what we're told about money, or what we see others do with money, all these experiences become ingrained habits within our journey of life. And they influence everything in our lives from how we communicate to how we build relationships, even to the extent of how we manage our money. So today I want to unpack all of that because I feel like once we understand why we interact with money the way we do, then we can actually start to make real changes that move the needle and actually put us in a position to build sustainable wealth. And if you're anything like me, I didn't come from money, right? I came from a single parent household, one income. So everything I was learning was from someone who was just trying to figure it out themselves and doing the best they could to survive. And first things first is understanding the complexity of our relationship with money. You have to realize that we are the sum total of our experiences, whether good, bad, or indifferent. And those experiences shape who we are today as individuals, even when it comes to our money. So think about it. Think about your childhood experiences or your journey just getting to the point at where you're at. And what have been your money experiences or your money memories that like you just never forget and they live with you? What messages did you commonly hear about money? Was money a thing that was argued or even talked about in the household? Whatever the experiences were, they stick with us. Once you understand how your relationship with money was formed, that's when you can actually start to make steps towards changing it. So let's break down the 3 dimensions when it comes to money. There's acquisition, there's spending, and then there's management. And I want you to think about this like 3 different perspectives in which you interact with your money. First up is acquisition. First, we got to understand, how do we feel about making money and what's your perspective of that? Some people see money as a security blanket in the sense of if they don't make enough, they won't be able to live. While you have others that look at money as it's not important. But then you have those on the extreme end who chase money endlessly, looking at it as if I just make a little bit more money, then I'll finally feel secure. So where do you see yourself on the spectrum? Because I'll be honest with you personally, I used to think that the more money that I made, I would be able to solve all my problems. And I was truly under the motivation to get rich or die trying. But what I learned is if the mindset isn't there, regardless of how much money you make, you'll still never feel fulfilled because mentally you're not thinking and acting like the person that you want to be or where you're trying to go. Next is spending. And this can be a tricky one because you have 2 ends of the spectrums that can be both extremes. We all know a person that saves every dollar that they make as if they could lose it all tomorrow. Now, while that may seem responsible, that might not be coming out of a place of financial literacy. That may be coming out of a place of scarcity. While on the flip side, you have other people who spend money like there's no tomorrow until it's time to pay the bill. So let me ask you this. Are you spending your money to fill a void, thinking that the money is going to solve a problem or the money is going to expedite the process and help you get to where you're trying to go faster? Or do you spend your money on things that actually align with your values and is actually helping you get to where you're trying to go? And honestly, there's no real right or wrong answer to this, but understanding your why is important. Let me give you a perfect example. It wasn't until it was time to go to high school and I had friends that were going to private schools. I even got to go and take some tours around private schools to see what the experience was like. But when it came down to actually applying and trying to get in, I couldn't because my mother just didn't have the money to pay for private school tuition. Now, once I realized that I wasn't going to get to experience the same things that my friends were getting to experience, I realized that it was the money that was stopping me from having that access. It was the money that was stopping me from gaining that experience, which then put a motivation in me that I needed money in order to get to a certain status to be able to have access to things that required money. And all that did was manifest itself into adulthood where I got to a point where even when I was making money, I was spending money that I didn't have to impress people I didn't know who didn't even really care about me. And lastly is management. It's not just about budgets and spreadsheets, but it's about the approach you take to actually managing your money. Okay, now we're back to the spectrum again. Are you someone who monitors and tracks every dollar that you make? Or are you someone who, when it comes to your money, you get stressed out and you think, I just get to it whenever I have time. Look, there was a time early on in my career when I would go on these binges. I would work hard all week, and then on the weekend, I would spend a bunch of money. And because I knew what I was doing and living in the moment, I knew that I had to check to see how much money I spent. But I got so anxious when it came to looking at and finding out the actual dollar amount because I didn't want to face the truth and the fact of the money that I spent. And it's understanding that that avoidance comes from a deeper place because the money that I was spending probably didn't truly align with what I wanted, and it really didn't help me get to where I was at. All it did was provide immediate gratification and fun, allowing me to distract myself and not accomplish the goals that I was trying to make. Now, here's where we connect the dots, and here's where it gets real. Everything boils down to your childhood. The way you handle your money now is not random or by chance. If money and things were tight when you were growing up, you might be one of those people who hold on to your money and don't even spend it to enjoy it. Or you could be one of those people who overspend because you never want to feel deprived again and miss out on any experiences. What were the money experiences that were had in your household or the lack thereof of them? Were you taught to save? Were you taught how to invest? Or was it a we can't afford that, on to the next thing? These are the lessons that shape how we see money as adults. But look, you don't have to be stuck with these beliefs. We can retrain our brain and how we think and view money. So let's talk about the healing process. Healing your relationship starts with understanding your value, both internal and external. You have to understand that your value is not tied to how much money you make or the things that you're able to buy. Like, oh, if I wear this brand, if I make this much money, if I drive this car, people will respect me. And this pushes us to a point of investing and spending thousands of dollars into other people and their last name. The Louis Vuittons, the Gucci's, the Mercedes Benz, the Porsches. We spend so much money and invest into the last names of other people, but we hesitate to invest in ourselves. Whether that's just by educating yourself and learning, going to therapy to just undo some of the problems and traumas you have in your head, or actually needing to know what it takes to build and grow your business. Like, I had to get to a point of realization where I understood that there's only one me, and I am the investment. And so are you. And it's until you see the value in yourself will you stop spending the money the way you do to impress others. You have to spend, save, and manage your money in a way that reflects self-respect and long-term growth. Now, I know we got a little deep, but that's the point. Understand that it's deeper than money here. Making money and building wealth isn't just about dollars and cents. It's about emotional, psychological, and personal development. So I challenge you to take some time today to ask yourself, what's your relationship with money? And is the relationship you have actually serving you? If you found this video valuable, you like the style and form of this content, listen, let me know in the comments. Share your story, share your experiences with money, whether it's how you grew up or how it manifested today. I want to hear it and I want to start these conversations. And like always, I see you in the next video.